Hello everyone, welcome to SS Classroom, and today we will discuss the tissue. In previous lecture we have completed cell division and different types of molecules across the cell membrane. In today's lecture we will start the tissue. So learn tissue, there is no issue. So watch the full video till the end and I clear your all doubt related to the tissue. So first of all, we will discuss the meaning of tissue. What is the meaning of tissue? So what is the meaning of tissue? We already discussed that different types of cells match together to form the tissue. So different types of cells means cells have similar in structures and match together form the same functions as a unit. And another is the extracellular matrix. So it is a non-living material called the extracellular matrix present between the cells. It's also called a interstitial fluid or tissue fluids. So what are the contents present in the matrix? There are different types of fluids, different types of cells. For example, this is the lymphatic vessels, this is blood capillaries, lymphatic capillaries, interstitial fluid. So this is the tissue fluid or extracellular fluid, and these are the tissue cells. So different types of cells mix together to form the tissue. So first of all, we discuss the different types of tissue. So basically there are four types of tissue. Number one, epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue, and nervous tissue. Epithelial tissue basically helpful for the protective covering outside and inside of the body. Inside of the body means the covering of the different types of organs, blood capillaries, and glands. In the connective tissue, by the name itself, we can understand that this tissue helpful for the binding of different types of tissue. Muscle tissue helpful for the movement of the body with the attachment of the different types of bones. And nervous tissue helpful for the control system of the whole body. So first of all, we'll discuss the epithelial tissue. So think about that, what is epithelial tissue? We have confusion that where it is present in the body. We learn and forget. So by the name itself, we try to find out what is the epithelium and where it is present. You can see there's the epithelium. So by the name itself, we try to find out the different types of tissue, epithelium tissue in the body. First is E. E means epidermis. So we know that by the name itself, epidermis. So epithelium tissue is present in the skin or outer covering of the body. Next P for pancreas. So epithelium tissue also present in the pancreas. I for intestine. So epithelium tissue also lining of the intestine. T for thyroid glands. So epithelium tissue also present in the glands. S for heart. So epithelium tissue lining of the heart, that is endocardium. Next is the L for the liver. So epithelium tissue also present in the liver. I for intima of blood vessels. It means this tissue present in the vessels. U for uterus, urethra and kidney. So this tissue also present in the uterus, in the urethra and kidney. And M for mouth. It means this tissue also present in the mouth or lining of the mouth, esophagus and stomach and intestines. So by the name itself, we can find out that this type of tissue present in the different types of body cavities, body organs, covering of the body and internal structures, glands, blood vessels, etc. I hope your doubt is clear that where it is present, there are different types of epithelium tissue we will discuss. So first of all, we have to know that where it is present. So by the name itself, we can find out that this tissue present in these areas. So next discuss the definition of epithelium tissue. So epithelium tissue is a covering or lining of the body surfaces, organs and cavities. So this tissue covering the body surfaces, covering the organs and cavities. It consists of closely packed cells with a little intracellular spaces. Intracellular means extracellular spaces and rest on a basement membrane. You can see this is the basement membrane and this is the connective tissue. This is another tissue connect with the basement membrane, and on the basement membrane there are different types of cells situated, and this is called intracellular spaces. So you can see in the epithelium tissue the cells are closely packed. If the cells are closely packed, then there is little bit spaces for the matrix. Next, discuss the what is basement membrane. You can see this is basement membrane. So what is the meaning of basement membrane? So basically the basement membrane is a thin, specialized sheet of extracellular matrix that lie between the epithelium tissue and underlying the connective tissue. It means the basement membrane present between the connective tissue and epithelium tissue. So all are the cells of the epithelium tissue rest on the basement membrane. So what is basement membrane? It is a thin and specialized sheet of extracellular matrix. It means there is no cells in the basement membrane. It is formed by the extracellular matrix with the specialized sheet. So all are the cells of the epithelium rest on the basement membrane. Let's discuss the function of epithelium tissue. So first of all, discuss the different types of function. Then we start the different types of classification of the epithelium tissue. So function of epithelium, there is protection, absorption, secretions, excretions, filtration, and sensory perceptions. So what is the function in protection? As a protection, work as a mechanical injury and harmful chemicals, bacteria, and dehydrations. So protection work from the different types of chemical injury, different types of harmful chemicals, bacteria, and dehydration. For example, skin epithelium protect the underlying tissue. You can see this is the skin epithelium and protect the underlying tissue. Underlying tissue means epithelium, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. Different types of tissue protected by this layer. So it will help as a protection from the bacterial infections, protection from the mechanical injury, chemical injury, and dehydrations. Next is the absorptions. So epithelium tissue also helpful for the absorption of the different types of nutrients and substances from the intestines and reabsorption from the kidney. So you can see in the nephron, in the kidney, there are different types of nutrients reabsorptions or different types of chemicals releases by the filtration and reabsorbed by the tubules. In the intestine, you can see there are different types of nutrients absorbed by the microvilli and in the intestines. So this is helpful for the absorption. Next is the secretions. So epithelium tissue also helpful for the secretions of different types of enzymes, hormones, mucus, and other substances. You can see this is the goblet cells, and goblet cells secrete the mucus. You can see this is the mucus. Next is the excretions. So excretions are helpful for the removing of the waste product from the body or from the kidney. So kidney tubules epithelium secrete the nitrogenous waste. You can see this is the kidney, this is the nephron, and excretions of the different types of nitrogenous waste. Next epithelium function is filtrations. So filtrations of the different types of materials from the glomerulus. You can see this is the glomerulus and this is the Bowman's capsule, and different types of chemicals filter from the glomerular capsule. And last function is the sensory perceptions. Sensory perception means that epithelium cells are modified to act as a sensory receptors, especially in the skins. For example, epithelium in the nose work as olfactory epithelium, in the tongues work as a taste buds, and in the skin touch receptors. So you can see these are the receptors, receive the signal from the external environments and send the signal to the brain. So this is all about the functions of the epithelium. Now discuss the classification of the epithelium tissue. There are different types of classification of the epithelium tissue. So you can see in the types of epithelium, first of all, epithelium tissue divided into two, simple epithelium and stratified epithelium. Simple epithelium again divided into 6 and stratified divided into 4. Simple epithelium divided into simple squamous, cuboidal, columnar, columnar ciliated, pseudo-stratified and glandular. Stratified epithelium divided into 4, stratified squamous, stratified cuboidal, stratified columnar and stratified transitional. And stratified squamous again divided into 2, keratinized and non-keratinized. So first of all discuss the what is simple and what is stratified. Then we will start the different types of classification. So first of all, simple means single. Single means this type of tissue makes by a single layer of cells and resting on a basement membrane. So this tissue means simple epithelium tissue makes by the single layer of cells, and these are the cells resting on the basement membrane. You can see this is the basement membrane and these are the different types of cells. This is the single layer of cells. Because of single layer, it is mainly involvement for the absorption, secretions, filtration and diffusion rather than protection. Because it has only single layer, so it will not helpful for the protection, but it will helpful for the absorption, secretions, filtration and diffusion process. For example, simple squamous epithelium helpful for the alveoli in the gas exchange. Cuboidal epithelium helpful for the absorption and secretions in the kidney tubules, and simple columnar epithelium helpful for the nutrient absorption from the intestines. And what is stratified epithelium? Stratified epithelium makes by the 2 or more layers of the cells. So this is made by the different types of layers, 2 or more layers of cells. So this will helpful for the protection rather than absorption, secretions and diffusion processes. For example, stratified squamous helpful for the skin lining of mouth and esophagus protection, and stratified cuboidal helpful for the sweat glands and duct of the sweat gland, and stratified columnar epithelium conjunctiva of the eyes and pharynx. So first of all, discuss the simple epithelium. There are different types of simple epithelium. So first of all, discuss the squamous. Simple squamous epithelium tissue. So squamous means the flat cells. We know that simple means single layer of cells. Squamous means flat cells. So this type of tissue makes by the single layer of flat cells. Single layer of thin flat cells and centrally placed nucleus. You can see this is the nucleus and this nucleus placed in the center. Because the cells are very thin, an epithelium allows for the diffusion, filtration and exchange of gases and rest on the basement membrane. So these are the cells. This is the basement membrane and these are the flat cells and nucleus present in the center. So what is the function of squamous? Squamous helpful for the rapid diffusion, exchange of gases. You can see this is the exchange of gases in the alveoli, and helpful for the filtration in the blood In the kidney, you can see this is the filtration from the glomerulus and provide a smooth friction-free lining in the body cavities and blood vessels. So squamous epithelium tissue basically helpful for the exchange of gases in the lungs and filtration from the kidney. Next is the cuboidal. Cuboidal means the cells of the epithelium tissue present in the cube shape and each centrally located round nucleus. You can see this is the round nucleus and placed in the centrally. And this is the cube-shaped cells. There are different types of cube-shaped cells mixed together to form the cuboidal tissue. These cells are tall and they are white. You can see the cells are tall compared to the white. Arranged in a single layer. You can see these are the arrangement in a single layer and rest on the basement membrane. So this is the basement membrane. So what is the function of cuboidal epithelium tissue? Cuboidal epithelium tissue helpful for the secretion of the different types of enzymes, hormones and granular products. For example, thyroid glands, salivary glands. Absorptions of the substances like water and nutrients, and excretions helpful in the removing waste products and provide limited protection due to its thickness. Next is the columnar epithelium tissue. Columnar epithelium tissue made by a single layer of tall and pillar-like cells. You can see these are the pillar-like cells and oval nuclei. So nucleus present in the oval shape, located near the base of the cells. So in the squamous and in the cuboidal, the nucleus present in the central, but in the columnar tissue, the nucleus present in the base of the cells. Cells are taller than they are wide. You can see cells are tall compared to the wide column shape, arranged in a single layer. You can see cells are arranged in a single layer and may contain microvilli for the absorption or goblet cell for the secret mucus. Rest on the basement membrane. So some of the microvilli helpful for the absorptions from the intestine, different types of nutrients absorbed from the intestines, and goblet cells protect the inner lining from the wear and tearing. So what are the functions? Bowman's capsule of the kidney filter the blood. Lining of the heart, that is endocardium, reduce the frictions, and serous membrane in the peritoneum, in the pleura and pericardium, secretions of the lubricating fluid, that is serous fluids. Next is the columnar ciliated. The cells are same like columnar, but some formation of the microvilli on the columnar cells. So it is also a hair-like projection that is called the cilia, and cilia helpful for the different types of functions in the body. For example, single layer of tall column-shaped cells. Each cell has an oval-shaped nucleus. Its base, it's the same as a columnar cells. Apical surface of cells is covered with the cilia. Apical surface means top surface of the columnar tissue. You can see these are the cilia and often contain goblet cells that secrete the mucus. And columnar cells also contain with the specialized cells that is called the goblet cells. So goblet cells secrete the mucus, and mucus helpful for the wear and tearing of the inner lining of the intestines or trachea. You can see function of the columnar ciliated. First is the respiratory tract, like a trachea and bronchi, move the mucus and trap dust particles out of the airway. In the fallopian tube, move the ovum from the ovary to the uterus. And in the ventricles of the brain, that is ependymal lining, helpful circulate the cerebrospinal fluids. So these are the mainly three functions of the microvilli. In the respiratory tract, movement of the mucus and dust particles toward the airway. Fallopian tube, movement of the ovum toward the uterus. And in the ventricles, movement of the cerebrospinal fluids. Next is the pseudo-stratified tissue. Pseudo means false. So this is the simple epithelium tissue but looks like a stratified because of its length. because its nucleus is not situated in a same manner. This is the single layer of cells that appear to be multi-layered. It means stratified because of the nuclei are located at different height within the cells. You can see this in this cell, nucleus present in the base. You can see in this present nucleus in this side and this side. So nucleus are present in the different height within the cells. So it looks like a stratified, but it present in the single cells. So this is called the simple epithelium. That is called the pseudo-stratified. For example, where it is present in the respiratory tract, lining of the trachea and bronchi. In the male reproductive tract, parts of the epididymis and vas deferens, and in the ischial tubes, that is the auditory tubes. And last is the glandular tissue. In the glandular tissue means this tissue present in the glands. For example, sweat glands, saliva, hormones, and digestive enzymes. What is the structures? So cells are often cuboidal or columnar. It means glandular cells present in the cuboidal shape or columnar shape with a large volume of protoplasm to support the secretions. And cells can be unicellular, for example, goblet cells, and cells can be multicellular, for example, sweat glands. So it included both endocrine and exocrine glands. You can see this is the structure of goblet cells. This is the goblet cell, this is nucleus, and this is the microvilli, and this is the granules of the mucous secretions. And this is the structures of the sweat glands. You can see this is the apocrine sweat glands. So these are the examples of the glandular tissue. So this is all about the simple epithelial tissue. Now discuss the stratified epithelial tissue. By the name itself, stratified means this tissue made by the two or more layer of the. So the stratified squamous epithelium tissue, stratified means there is multiple layer. Squamous means flat cells. So this is the multiple layer of the flat cells. Consists of many cell layers. These are the basal layer in the deepest layer that formed by the cuboidal columnar cells capable of the cell division. Middle layer progressively flatten as they move upward, and surface layer flat squamous cells may be dead or keratinized. So these are the different types of layers formed in the stratified squamous tissue. So stratified epithelium squamous divided into two: keratinized stratified squamous and non-keratinized. So keratinized present on the dry surface and non-keratinized present on the wet surface. Why it is keratinized? Because of the presence of the keratin protein. So keratin protein is a tough and waterproof protein. These surface cells are dead and flattened and without nuclei, providing strong protection. For example, epidermis of the skin, hairs and nails. So these are the tough surfaces and work as a waterproof. Function: prevent drying and protect against the abrasions. And non-keratinized present on the wet surfaces. And non-keratinized means there is no keratin protein present in this tissue. And cells remain alive, most and without keratin protein. It provides the protection in the area exposed to friction, but kept the most. For example, consists of layer of cells. Basal layer cuboidal columnar cells capable of division. Middle layer polygonal cells, and surface layer flat squamous cells with the nuclei present. And no deposition of the keratin, and surface remains soft and moist. You can see this is the nucleated superficial squamous cells. This is the basal layer, and this is basal lamina. Basal lamina means basal membrane. Non-keratinized stratified squamous present on the wet surfaces. What are the functions? Provide protections, maintain moist surfaces for the smooth passageway of food and other materials, and act as a barrier against entry of pathogens. For example, lining of the mouth cavities. You can see this is the mouth cavities. Next is the pharynx and esophagus. Prevent friction from the swallowed food. In the vagina, protect against friction and microbial entry. And in the cornea, protection while remaining transparent. So these are the function of the non-keratinized stratified squamous tissue. Next is the stratified cuboidal tissue. So cuboidal tissue present in the cube-shaped cells. Consists of two or more layer of cells, and surface layer cuboidal square with central round nucleus. You can see central round nucleus, and basal layer may be cuboidal. What are the example? Duct of the sweat gland. You can see duct of the sweat glands, salivary glands in the mouth, and mammary glands in the breast. So these are the examples of the stratified cuboidal epithelium tissue. Next, third is the columnar. So columnar present in the column shape or rectangular in shape cells, two or more layer of the cells, basal layer usually cuboidal, and apical layer tall and columnar cells. For example, parts of the male urethra. Next is the stratified transitional. Stratified transitional means the cell have a specific function and change in the size and shape. So it is a multi-layer epithelium that can stretch and change the shape. It can shift from cuboidal columnar when relaxed and squamous when flat or when stretched. What is the structure? Multi-layer of cells. We can see by the name it's stratified. Basal layer formed by the cuboidal or columnar cells, and middle layer formed by the polyhedral, irregular or rounded. Surface layer, large dome-shaped cells when relaxed, which become flat when stretched, and special features, distensibility, ability to stretch without damage. Okay, so what is function of stratified transitional? First is the protection. Prevent urine from diffusing back into the body tissue. So this is the protections. And stretching ability. Stretching ability means fluctuating volume in the urine bladder and ureters. Example, urinary bladder, ureters, renal pelvis, and upper urethra. You can see this is stretch and this is relax. So this is stretch and relax capacity present in the urinary bladders. So stratified transitional present in the urinary bladder. Okay. So now discuss the comparison of the different types of stratified tissue. So first is stratified. By the name itself, we can understand that there is multiple layer of the cells. Next is the squamous. These are the flat cells and divided into two, keratinized and non-keratinized. Keratinized on the dry surfaces and non-keratinized on the wet surfaces. Dry surfaces like skin, hairs and nails, and non-keratinized mouth, esophagus and vagina. Function is protection against frictions, abrasions, dehydration and microbes. Next is cuboidal. Cuboidal means in the cube shapes. For example, duct of the sweat, salivary glands, mammary gland and part of the male urethra. Function same, protection, secretion, strengthen duct walls. Next is the columnar, means cells are present in the column shapes. For example, large duct of the salivary glands, male urethra, conjunctiva of the eyes and pharynx. Function, production and secretions. And last is the stratified transitional. Transitional means change the size and shape of the cells during the stretching and relaxations. For example, in the urinary bladder, ureter, renal pelvis and upper urethra. Stretching means distensibility and protection from urine toxicity. So these are the comparison of the stratified tissue. Now discuss the connective tissue. So what we will cover in the connective tissue? First of all, discuss the definition of connective tissue. What is the composition of connective tissue and classification of connective tissue. So first of all, discuss the definition of connective tissue. Connective tissue means the binds, support and protect organs and other tissue of the body. You can see these are the different types of connective tissue: blood connective tissue, loose connective tissue, adipose, cartilage, bone and dense. So first of all, discuss the composition of connective tissue. What are the compositions of the connective tissue? In the composition of connective tissue, made by the three components: number one, cells; number two, fibers; and number three, ground substances. Cells means there are different types of cells present in the connective tissue. Fibers, there are different types of fibers present in the connective tissue. And ground substances are also present in the connective tissue. What are the cells? Fibroblasts, adipocytes, also called fat cells, macrophages, leukocytes, mast cells, and plasma cells. What are the fibers present? Collagen fibers, elastic fibers, and reticular fibers. And what are the ground substances? Like amorphous, proteoglycans, glycoproteins, and glycosaminoglycans. So these are the three components and different types of cells present in the connective tissue. And this is all called a matrix. Different types of cells, different types of fibers, different types of ground substances meshed together to form the matrix. So first of all, discuss the different types of cells present in the connective tissue. So we will discuss the fibroblasts, fat cells, macrophages, leukocytes, mast cells, and plasma cells. So first of all, discuss the fibroblast. So you can see this is the fibroblast cells. This is the fibroblast cells. So fibroblast cells, you can see this is the spindle shaped cells. This is the spindle shaped cells responsible for and maintaining the extracellular matrix. Why? Because fibroblasts formation of the different types of fibers, like formation of the collagen fibers, formation of the elastic fibers, reticular fibers, and formation of the ground substances. That's why these cells responsible for the formation or maintaining of the extracellular matrix. You can see this is collagen fibers. These are the different types of enzyme formation by the fibroblast. This is the elastin fibers. This is the hyaluronic acid. This is the growth factors. This is the extracellular matrix. And in the fibroblast, there is rough endoplasmic reticulum. This is nucleus, Golgi apparatus, ribosomes, cytoplasm, and mitochondria, and secretory granules. So these are the structures or organelles present in the fibroblast cells. So what is function of fibroblasts? So we already discussed that fibroblasts helpful for the formation of the extracellular matrix and formation of the different types of the collagen fibers, like secretory fibers, collagen fibers, elastin fibers, and reticulin fibers. Formation of the ground substances like glycosaminoglycans, proteoglycans, and glycoproteins. Tissue repair and wound healing. Fibroblasts multiply and form the scar tissue, and scar tissue formation helpful for the tissue repairing. And structural support help in maintain the strength and integrity of the connective tissue. So you can see this is the fibroblasts and mesenchymal cells. These are the collagen fibers, blood vessels, ground substances, extracellular matrix, macrophages. These are the adipocytes, fat cells, and elastin fibers. So mainly fibroblast function is secretions of the fibers, formation of the ground substances, and helpful for the tissue repair and wound healing and structural support. Next is the fat cells. Fat cells are also called the adipocytes. So adipocytes work as an energy bank because it stores the fat in the form of triglycerides. The storing fat helpful for the insulating the body and protecting vital organs. You can see mitochondria in the fat cells, this is the nucleus, rough ER, Golgi apparatus, cytoplasm, cell membrane, and fat reservoir. So you can see the maximum amount of the fat stored by the fat cells or adipocytes. That's why this cells also called a energy bank. So what is the function of fat cells? First is the energy storage. So energy storage in the form of the triglycerides for a long-term energy reservoir. Next is the insulation. Insulation means the maintaining the body temperature by the reducing the heat loss from the body. Next is the protection. Protection of the different types of organs and work as a cushion and protect. Next is the endocrine role. Endocrine role means the secretions of the different types of hormones like a leptin control the appetite and adiponectin regulate the glucose and fat metabolism. That's why it is also called the endocrine role. Next is the macrophages. So macrophages is the irregular shaped phagocytic cells found in the connective tissue. You can see the structures of the macrophages: cell membrane, cytoplasm, pseudopodia, Golgi body, lysosomes, this is the nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum. So phagocytosis present in the irregular phagocytic cells in the connective tissue and helpful for the damages or destroy the different types of microorganisms by the help of the lysosome enzymes. So what is the function of macrophages? First is the phagocytosis. Phagocytosis means engulfing the bacteria and destroyed by the different types of enzymes. Next is the immune defense, present antigen to lymphocytes to activate the immune responses. Next is the secretions of cytokines, releasing signaling molecules that regulate the inflammation and healing processes. Next is the tissue repair and clearing the debris and stimulating new tissue growth. So these are the mainly functions of the macrophages. Phagocytosis, that's for the bacteria. Immune defense, lymphocytes to activate the immune system. Secretions of cytokines, cytokines regulate the inflammation and healing process. And tissue repairs by removing or clearing of the debris from the cells. Next is the leukocytes. So leukocytes is the white blood cells present in the blood and connective tissue and especially play in the role defense and immunity. These are the white blood cells like monocytes, eosinophils, basophils, lymphocytes, neutrophils, B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. So why it is called B lymphocyte, T lymphocytes? B lymphocytes maturations in the bone marrow and T lymphocytes maturations in the thymus glands. So these are the WBCs. What are the functions of the leukocytes? What is the function of neutrophils? So neutrophils is the first responders for the phagocytosis process. Phagocytosis means engulfing the bacteria and destroy the bacteria by the different types of hormones and enzymes. Eosinophils fight the parasitic infections and responsible for the allergic reactions. Basophils release the histamines and histamine helpful for the allergic reactions and inflammations in the body. Monocytes, macrophages and dendrite cells in the tissue for the phagocytosis process and antigen presentations. Lymphocytes helpful for the immunity processes like B cells produce the antibodies and T cells destroy the infected cells and regulate the immune responses. So these are the main functions of the different types of WBCs in the body. Next is the mast cells. Mast cells mean the large immune cells present in the connective tissue, especially near the blood vessels, skin and lungs and digestive tracts. Mast cells are also called the alarm system. Why it is called alarm system? Because it releases the different types of chemicals in the case of the infections and trigger the inflammation and allergic reactions. Like mast cells release the histamines and histamines create an allergic reaction or inflammation in your body. That's why it's also called the alarm system in the body. So this is the structures of the mast cells. You can see this is the histamines. These are degranulations. These are the receptors. These are the antigens. This is the IgE antibodies and histamine granules. And this is the histamine granules released by the mast cells. So what are the functions of the mast cells? We already discussed the release of histamines, and histamines helpful for the vasodilation, increased blood flow, and allergy symptoms and inflammations. Release heparin helpful for the blood clotting and localized areas, prevent from the blood clotting and localized areas. If in the localized area have bleeding, then it will prevent from the blood clotting. Next is the inflammatory responses, means swelling, redness, and requirement of other immune cells. Next, the defense roles help fight bacteria, parasite, and toxins. Next, the allergic reactions, because of the main cells responsible for asthma, hay fever, and anaphylaxis. So, mainly functions of the mast cells is the releasing of the histamines and heparin. Heparin helpful for the prevent from the blood clotting, and histamines helpful for the vasodilation, increased blood flow, allergic reaction, and inflammations. Next is the plasma cells. So plasma cells are responsible for the antibody producing cells. For example, B lymphocytes. And plasma cells are also called the antibodies factories, because plasma cells make the antibodies. For example, you can see this is the blood stem cells, myeloid stem cells, and lymphoid stem cells. Myeloid stem cells again form the red blood cells, platelets, and myeloblasts. Myeloblasts means granulocytes present in these cells like eosinophils, neutrophils, and basophils. So these three cells have granules. That's why it comes under the granulocytes. Next is the lymphoid stem cells, lymphoblast, and lymphoblast divided into B lymphocyte, T lymphocyte, and natural killer cells or monocytes. B lymphocyte, T lymphocytes, these are the cells called the plasma cells. So this is the plasma cells helpful for the formation of the antibodies. That's why it is called the antibodies factories. What are the functions? Antibody productions like IgD, IgE, IgM, IgA, IgG. These are the 5 types of the antibodies. Next is the immune defenses, neutralize the toxins, viruses, and bacteria. And long-term immunity helpful in the immune memory along with the B cells. So these are the different types of cells present in the connective tissue. Next is what are the fibers present in the connective tissue? So these are the mainly 3 fibers: collagen fibers made by the collagen protein, elastin fiber made by the elastin protein, and reticular fiber made by the reticular protein or reticular cells, or also similar to the collagen fibers. So first, the collagen fibers. Collagen is the most abundant structural protein because mainly the collagen present in the large amount in the matrix. Mainly found in the connective tissue, provide the strength, flexibility, and support to the tissue and organs. So collagen fibers are also called a steel framework because it provides the strength to the tissue, flexibility to the tissue, and support to the organs. What is the function of collagen fibers? First is the mechanical strength to the tissue, tendons, ligaments, and bones. Maintain structural integrity of the organs. Aid in tissue repair and wound healing, and provide the scaffold for cell attachment and tissue development. So these are the main functions of the collagen. Next is the elastic fibers. So elastic fibers work as a rubber band. Means it has capacity to stretch and relax facility, giving stretch and recoil to the tissue. These are made by the elastin protein and fibrillin protein. So you can see this is the stretch of the elastin fibers, and this is the relax of the elastic fibers. This is the condition in the relaxed fibers, and this is the stretch fibers. What is the function of the elastic fibers? So elastic fibers mainly present in the lungs for stretch and recoil of the alveoli and arteries and lungs. For example, skin gives elasticity in the lungs for the expansion and recoil during the breathing, and walls of the arteries like the aorta. So you can see in the alveoli stretching and recoiling of the alveoli. And third is the reticular fibers. So reticular fibers are a thin, delicate connective tissue fibers. They form a fine branching network, that is reticulum, that provides the support and framework of soft tissue and organs. So you can see connective tissue, melanocytes, secretion of the melanin. These are the reticular fibers. These are the mast cells, elastic fibers. These are the collagen fibers. This is the blood capillary, macrophages, lymphocytes, and fat cells. So reticular fibers, these are the reticular fibers. What is the function of reticular fibers? Provide the supporting framework or stoma for the organs like lymph node and spleen. Maintain the structural integrity of the soft and delicate organs like lymph node, spleen, and tonsils. Next, discuss the ground substances. So what are the ground substances present in the connective tissue matrix? Amorphous, proteoglycans, glycoprotein, and glycosaminoglycans. So first is the amorphous. Amorphous means the gel-like material in which the cells and fibers are embedded. Like a cytoplasm in the cell, same like a amorphous in the extracellular material. You can see this is the nucleus and this is the amorphous. So this is the gel-like material present in the extracellular matrix. These are the fibers and these are the ground substances. Next is the proteoglycans. So proteoglycans is the large molecules made by the core protein. So you can see this is the core protein. So this core protein formation of the proteoglycans along with the long chain of glycosaminoglycans and work as a sponges and hold the water and providing the cushion. So you can see this is the proteoglycans aggregates. This is completely proteoglycans. And the structure of proteoglycans, this is the core protein and core protein formation of the glycosaminoglycans. So these are the small tubes-like structures. This is the glycosaminoglycans. And this is the complete bundle of the glycosaminoglycans. It is called the proteoglycans. So this is the structure of the proteoglycans. And this is the linker protein. So this is the structure of the proteoglycans. Next ground substance is the glycoproteins. So glycoprotein is work as a glue or communication bridge in the collagen, proteoglycans and extracellular matrix. So what are the example of the glycoproteins? First is the fibronectin, laminin, chondronectin and osteonectin. So fibronectin bind the collagen, proteoglycans help in the wound healing. So fibronectin helpful for the wound healing. Laminin helpful for the cell attachment, basement membrane and tissue. Chondronectin helpful in the cartilages and osteonectin, osteo means bone, so it will helpful for the bone. Bind the different types of minerals like calcium and collagen fibers in the bones. So these are the different types of glycoprotein helpful for the different type of binding materials. Last is the glycosaminoglycans. So already we discussed the glycosaminoglycans. These are the tubule-like structures present on the core proteins and make together to form the proteoglycans. So they are highly negatively charged, so they attract the water and cation, making the ground substances gel-like, hydrated and resistant to the compressions. That's why it is work as a cushion system. So glycosaminoglycans like the water magnet because of the negatively charged and water loving, keeping it hydrated, and cushion because of the different types of glycosaminoglycans formation to the glycoproteins. proteoglycans. Let's discuss the classification of connective tissue. So different types of classification of the connective tissue. First is the loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue, cartilage, bone tissue, and fluid tissue. Loose connective tissue again divided into three: areolar, adipose, and reticular. Dense connective tissue again divided into three: regular, irregular, and elastic. Cartilage divided into three: hyaline cartilage, fibrous cartilage, also called a fibrocartilage, and elastic cartilage. Bone tissue divided into two: compact tissue and spongy tissue. Fluid tissue divided into two: blood and lymph. So first of all, discuss the loose connective tissue. So keep in this mind classifications for the easily understanding. So first of all, discuss the loose connective tissue. By the name itself, we can understand that the material in the extracellular matrix present in the loose or connected in a loose manners or loose networks. So first of all, discuss the areolar connective tissue. So areolar connective tissue has loosely arranged fibers in the extracellular matrix. You can see these are the different types of cells, connective tissue cells, different types of fibers arranged in the extracellular matrix, loosely arranged. It acts as a packing material and filling spaces between organ and supporting them, where it is present below the skin and support the blood vessels. What is function? It gives the strength and elasticity. You can see there are the elastic fibers, nerve fiber, macrophages, fat cells, neutrophils. These are the plasma cells. These are the fibroblasts. So this fibroblast cells formation of the different types of fibers. Next is the adipose tissue. Adipose tissue also called fat cells because it stores the fats in the form of the triglycerides. It is present in the subcutaneous layer or deep in the skin. So there are three layers. First is the epidermis, second the dermis, and third is the hypodermis. So hypodermis layer is also called a subcutaneous layer. So in the subcutaneous layer formed by the adipose tissue. So when the adipose tissue is growth or multiple or body have lot of fat, then adipose tissue is greater and body buildup generated. So you can see the skin around the heart and kidney also it is present. What are the functions? Prevent heat loss from the body, act as a reservoir of the energy, it gives shape to the limb and body, and protect from the underlying organs from the injury. So these are the functions of the adipose tissue. So adipose tissue again divided into two: white adipose tissue and brown adipose tissue. White adipose tissue present in the adults and brown adipose tissue present in the newborn. White adipose tissue store the energy in the form of fat and provide insulation and cushioning, most common in the adults. And brown tissue present in the children, some newborns, and especially have rich in mitochondria, and mitochondria helpful for the generation of the heat and energy. So brown adipose tissue present in the newborn and white adipose tissue present in the adults. Next is the reticular connective tissue. Reticular connective tissue contains the reticular fibers and reticular cells, where it is present in the liver, spleen, lymph node, red bone marrow, and also found in the blood vessels and muscles. So what is function of reticular tissue? It binds together of the smooth muscle tissue cells, filter and remove the microbes in the lymph node. So reticular fibers mainly present in the spleen, thymus glands, and lymph nodes. So this is all about the loose connective tissue. Now discuss the dense connective tissue. So dense connective tissue means the cells are arranged in a densely packed Densely packed means there is little bit extracellular material. It means fiber content is higher and cell content is lower. So bundle of collagen fiber arranged in the parallel pattern. Parallel pattern, you can see this is the parallel pattern. So parallel pattern helpful for the strength to the tissue. And fibroblasts are appear in the row between the fibers. You can see these are the fibroblast cells. These are the fibroblast cells. So in the regular tissue, regular connective tissue, different types of fibers arranged in the parallel pattern. And parallel pattern helpful for the strengthening of the tissue. Where it is present in the tendons, tendon helpful for the muscles and bone attachments, and ligaments helpful for the bone-to-bone attachments. What is function? It provides the strong attachment to the structure. You can see this is the bone attachment, this is your muscles, this is your bone, and this is tendons. So tendon helpful for the attachment of the muscles to the bone. And this is called the ligaments. So ligament helpful for the attachment of the bone to bone. So this is your femur bone and this is your ilium, means pelvic bone. So pelvic bone attachment with the femur by the helpful with the different types of ligaments. Next is the irregular connective tissue. So irregular connective tissue means the collagen fibers arranged in an irregular manner or not in the parallel pattern. And fibroblasts are appear in the row between the fibers. So you can see these are the fibroblasts and collagen fibers arranged in a irregular pattern. Where it is present in the dermis layer of the skin, membrane capsule around the kidney, liver, testes, lymph node and heart valves. And function provide the strength to the different organs. So dense connective tissue mainly provide the strength to the different types of organs. Last is the elastic tissue. So elastic tissue work like a rubber. So fibroblasts present in the space between the fibers and it is yellowish in the color. Where it is present the elastic arteries, trachea, bronchial tubes and vocal cords. Function is the stretching of the various organs. You can see this is the structure during the stretching and this is the structure during the relax. Now discuss the cartilages. So different types of cartilages present in the body. So what is cartilages? Cartilage is the closely packed collagen fibers and mature cartilage cells that is called chondrocytes. So cartilage is made by the two contains. First is the collagen fibers and second is the mature chondrocytes. So chondrocytes mix together to form the cartilages with the help of the different types of collagen fibers in the matrix. First is the hyaline cartilage. Hyaline cartilage present in the bluish white in color. You can see this is the lacuna, this is the matrix and this is the chondrocytes. So lacuna is the space for the formation of the chondrocytes. Where it is present, it consists of fine collagen fibers and many chondrocytes. Fine collagen fibers means there is lack of collagen fibers and most of the chondrocyte cells present in the hyaline cartilage. It is present at the end of long bones, anterior end of ribs, nose, larynx, trachea, bronchi and bronchial tubes. What is functions? There is a little bit small surfaces for the movement at joints, flexibility and supports. So you can see this is the end of long bone. This is your femur, this is your tibia fibula and this is the knee cartilage. So cartilage helpful for the and prevent from the friction and work as a cushion and provide the movements. And this is the anterior end of ribs. You can see this is the sternum, and different types of ribs joined with the sternum with the help of cartilages. Next is the nose, and this is the upper lateral cartilages. This is alar cartilages. So this cartilages formed by the hyaline cartilages. Next is the fibrous cartilages. Fibrous cartilage means tough cartilages. So it is the strongest form of cartilages made by the chondrocytes scattered among the bundle collagen fibers with the extracellular matrix. Location means intervertebral disc. What is function? It cover and protect the bony structure of the body. You can see this is the fibrocartilages, hyaline cartilages, bone, type 1 cartilage, type 1 collagens. So you can see this is the vertebrae, this is the vertebrae, this is the vertebrae, and this is called the intervertebral disc, which is made by the fibrocartilage. So this is called the disc or made by the fibrocartilages. Last is the elastic cartilages. Elastic cartilages located within a thread-like network of elastic fibers within the extracellular matrix. You can see this is the perichondrium, this is the chloroplast, this is chondrocytes, this is elastic fibers. So where it is present? It is present in the pinna of ear and top of larynx. Pinna of ear means auricles. And function, it provides the strength and elasticity and maintain the shape and size of the external ear. You can see this is the pinna. So this is the ear or external ear completely formed by the elastic cartilage. And in the larynx, the top of the larynx, so this is the top of the larynx made by the elastic cartilages, which will helpful for the maintain the size and shape of the particular organs. Now discuss the bone tissue. So bone tissue divided into two, compact bone and spongy bones. So it is a dense, hard type of bone tissue that form the outer layer of all bones. So this is the structure of a long bone, and this is the microscopic structure of the long bone. This is the epiphysis, this is called the diaphysis, again this is called the epiphysis. And compact bone, the outer layer is formed by the compact bone and middle layer is formed by the spongy bone. Outer layer of all bones like femur, humerus, flat bones like skull and pelvis. So what is function of compact bone? It provides the strength, support and protection because compact bone is hard compared than the spongy bone. Because spongy bone have spaces between the bones, but compact bone don't have any spaces. So it will help for the strength, support and protection, and it is also make about the 80% of the total bone mass in the body. It means compact bone form the 80% and spongy bone form the 20%. Next is the spongy bone. So spongy bone have spaces, that's why it will help for the lighter, less dense form of bone tissue found inside the bones. It has a porous, you can see this is the hole, this is the porous or spaces. That is like structures like trabeculæ. So these are the spaces, it's called a trabeculæ, that makes bone lighter. Lighter means reduces the weight of the bone. Locations, end of epiphysis. This is the end of epiphysis of the long bone, example femur and humerus. Inside the flat bones like skull, sternum and ribs. What is function of the spongy bone? Provide lighter because of the trabecular structures, reduces the weight and shock absorption, mineral storage like calcium and phosphorus, and hematopoiesis means formation of the blood cells. So this is the structure of the compact bone and spongy bone. So compact bone is hard and make the 80% of the bone, and spongy bone is trabecular or porous and make the 20% and helpful for the reduces the weight of the bone. And last discuss the fluid tissue. So fluid tissue divided into two, that is the blood and lymph. So blood, we already know the liquid connective tissue, and it has no fibers on its normal state. And during the clotting or during the bleeding, during the clotting state, it has appearing of the fibers for the clotting. What is function? So function of the different types of blood cells, like the transporting of the materials, defending against disease conditions like WBC, and regulating balance and adding in the clotting like a platelets. So platelet is helpful for the blood clotting. RBC is helpful for the transportation of the materials like oxygen and carbon dioxide. And defending is WBC helpful for the immunity or different types of fight with the bacteria. Next is the lymph. So lymph also a protective fluid connective tissue that maintain the fluid balance and transport fat and play a central role in the immunity. Where it is present in the lymphatic vessels, lymph node, spleen, thymus, and tonsils. So lymph present in the lymphatic system. So we will discuss in a detail in the lymphatic system. What is function of lymph? It acts as a immune defense, fluid balance, absorption of fat from the intestine as a lacteals, and waste removal from the body. So you can see this is the structure of the lymph. Third is the muscular tissue or muscle tissue. So muscle tissue divided into three, that is skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, and cardiac muscles. So first of all, what is the muscle tissue? So muscle tissue is a specialized connective tissue made of elongated muscles, fibers that can contract and relax. So this tissue have a special capacity to contraction and relaxations. It is responsible for producing movements, postures, and heat in the body. So these are the different types of tissue like cardiac muscle tissue, smooth muscle tissue, and skeletal muscle tissue. So first of all, discuss the skeletal muscle tissue. So what is the structure of skeletal muscle tissue? It is a long, you can see this is the long, cylindrical, multinucleated, striated fibers, dark and light band present, fibers are arranged in the bundles. So first of all, see the structures of muscles. It has multinucleated. Multinucleated means only inside the body, skeletal muscles have more than one nucleus. So it is called the multinucleated. It's a long, you can see this is the long muscles. This is cylindrical in shape. This is the structure is called a cylindrical in shape, and striated fibers. So what is the meaning of striated fibers? So just you can see this structure. This is the dark band and this is the light. Again this is the dark and this is the light. Again dark, this portion is light. This is dark and again this is light. So the dark and light band is present on the muscular cells, skeletal cells, skeletal muscles. This is called the striated fibers. So these are the striated fibers present on the skeletal muscles in the dark and light band. This is called the striated fibers. These are the multi-nucleus, one nucleus and another nucleus present on the skeletal muscles, and fibers arranged in a bundles. So you can see different types of fibers arranged in a bundles. Where it is present? It is present in the limbs, tongues, body, face, and neck. Because skeletal muscles are the voluntary muscle cells. So voluntary muscles means we can control the movement of this type of cells. Especially or most of the cells of the skeletal muscles connected with the skeletal systems. So it is a voluntary, or we can say this is the somatic nervous system, or we can say we can control this type of muscles. What are the functions? It is helpful for the movements, postures, and heat generations. Next is the smooth muscles. So smooth muscles is non-striated. So you can see there is no dark and light bundle seen on the smooth muscles. So this is non-striated muscles present in the spinal sheath, you can see these are the spindle shaped structures and a single nucleus. You can see this is have one nucleus, one nucleus, one nucleus, one nucleus, one nucleus. Means each and every cells, smooth muscle cell have only one nucleus. But in the skeletal muscle cells have more than one nucleus. That's why it is called a multinucleated. And smooth muscles have only one nucleus, so it is called a uninucleated. So fibers arranged in a sheets. In the skeletal systems, fibers arranged in the bundles, and smooth muscle cells, fibers arranged in the sheets. So what is locations of the smooth muscle cells, muscles in the body? In the stomach, in the intestines, bladder, blood vessels, and uterus. So this is the involuntary muscular cells. Involuntary means we cannot control or we cannot movement of the smooth muscles. Like stomach, we cannot control the stomach's movement. We cannot control the intestine movement. We cannot control the bladder movement, blood vessels, and uterus. So what is the function of smooth muscles? Move substances through organs like peristalsis movement. Peristaltic movement present in the GI system or in the intestines. Peristaltic movement helpful for the propulsion of food particles from one place to the another place. So this is the involuntary means done by the autonomic nervous system. We cannot control the involuntary muscles like smooth muscles. Next is the cardiac muscles. So cardiac muscles is again stretched. So you can see again dark and light band present on the muscles. But it has branch fibers. So you can see these are the branch fibers. So this is the cells and this is the branch. You can see this is the cell and again these are the branch. Again these are the cells, again these are the branch. So these are the branch. So these cardiac muscle cells present in the branch and in a single nucleus. Single nucleus means it is also present in the uninucleated and connected by intercalated discs and fiber arranged in the networks. So in the skeletal system, fiber arranged in a bundle. In smooth muscle cells, fiber arranged in a sheet, and cardiac muscles, fiber arranged in a network. So cardiac muscles only present in the heart, only present in the myocardium layer. It is also called a heart wall. So function, pump blood continuously. That's why heartbeat is generated, and control is involuntary. So only the skeletal muscles is voluntary control, means we can control the skeletal muscles only. We cannot control the smooth muscles. We cannot control the cardiac muscles. Okay, so now discuss the comparison features of the muscles between the skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. These are the parameters: structural, location, and working. So first of all, discuss the structural features. You can see this is the skeletal, this is the long, you can see this is the long, cylindrical in shape, this cylindrical shape, unbranched cells. So skeletal muscles and smooth muscles are unbranched. Only the branched cells is present in the cardiac muscles. Multinucleated means more than one nucleus present in the skeletal muscles. Dark and light band present, that is called striated. So you can see dark and light band present on the skeletal muscles. So this is called the striated muscles. And fiber arranged in the bundles. So these are the different types of fiber arranged in a bundles. And in the smooth muscles, spindle in shape, unbranched. Unbranched means there is no branch formation by the cells. Uninucleated means only one nucleus present in a one cells. And dark and light band non-present means there is non-striated muscles. There is no any dark and light band present on the smooth muscle cells. And fiber arranged in a sheet. You can see these are the fibers arranged in a sheet. In a cardiac muscles, short. These are the short because of the skeletal muscles are long. Cylindrical in shape. These are also cylindrical in shape. Uninucleated means cardiac muscles also has only one nucleus. But faint dark and light band present, that is also called striated. But in the skeletal muscles, there is dark. But in the cardiac muscles, the bend present in the faint dark and light bends, and fiber arranged in a network. But in the skeletal muscles, fiber arranged in a bundle. In a smooth muscles, fiber arranged in a sheet, and cardiac muscles, fiber arranged in a network. Next, comparison based on the locations. So skeletal muscles present in the limbs, that is arms, legs, diaphragm, tongue, face, and neck. So skeletal muscles is a voluntary but exception in the diaphragm. So diaphragm is a involuntary but comes under the skeletal muscles. So this is the exception of the skeletal muscles. Next is the smooth muscles present in the stomach, intestine, blood vessels, urinary bladder, bronchi of the lungs. So smooth muscle cells and cardiac muscles both are the involuntary, means we cannot control these muscles. So locations of the cardiac muscle present on the wall of the heart, that is the myocardium layer. Next is the working capacity. Working capacity of the skeletal muscles contract quickly but not for long time. Means skeletal muscles work function as quickly but not for a long time, and tired get easily. But smooth muscles contract slowly but remain for a long time. You can see contraction in the stomach, contraction in the intestine, contraction in the blood vessels for a long period of time, but do not get tired for a long time. In the cardiac muscles, contract quickly and rhythmically. This is the contraction, but not a rhythmically, but only the rhythmic contraction present in the cardiac muscles for a lifetime, and do not get tired for a lifetimes. So the cardiac muscles not tired and function as a beating as a rhythmically functions. So these are the comparison features of the different types of muscles: skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, and cardiac muscles. And last tissue is the nervous tissue. So nervous tissue basically helpful for the control system of the all body systems. So nervous tissue divided into excitatory, that is the neurons, and non-excitatory, that is neuroglia or glia. So what is excitatory neuron? That is the neurons, and non-excitatory tissue, that is the neuroglia, is also called a glia. So what is nervous tissue? So nervous tissue is the body's communication network. You can see different types of nerves in the central nervous system, in the peripheral nervous system, mixed together to form the communication network, transmitting electrical signals to control and coordinate all body functions with the helpful for the different types of hormones. Nerve tissue is a specialized tissue that form the brain, spinal cord, and nerves. So what is excitatory tissue? That is neurons. So you can see the structures of the neurons and different types of electrical signal transfer from dendrites to the terminal buttons. So neuron is a specialized cells in the nervous system. You can see this is the basic structural and functional unit of the brain that transmits information through electrical and chemical signal. Chemical signal means different types of neurotransmitters travel during the electrical signals. It is a basic functional unit of the nervous system, including the brain, spinal cord, and peripheral nerves. What is function of neurons? Neurons communicate with each other to process and transmit informations, enabling functions such as thoughts, sensation, movement, and autonomic body regulations. So brain have different types of various functions and also functions with the help of the different types of hormones. We will discuss in a detail in the nervous system. Next tissue is the non-excitatory tissue, that is glial cells. So neuroglia or glia support the nourish and protect the neurons. So we can say this is the supportive tissue of the neurons and maintain the interstitial fluid, that is bath them. So what are the cells present in the central nervous system? So glial cells present in the central nervous system. So central nervous system means the glial cell present in the brain and glial cell present in the spinal cord. So this is called the central nervous system. Central nervous system included the brain and spinal cord. So what are the cells What are the glial cells present in the brain and spinal cord? Astrocytes, microglia, ependymal cells, and oligodendrocytes. So glial cells you can see, this is the astrocyte cells, this is the microglial cells, this is ependymal cells, and this is oligodendrocyte cells. So these are the four cells present in the central nervous system, means brain and spinal cord. Next is the glial cell present in the peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system means both upper limbs, both lower limbs, in the chest area and abdominal area. All are the area except the brain and spinal cords. So there are only two cells present in the peripheral nervous system as a glial cells, that is Schwann cells and satellite cells. So you can see these are the Schwann cells and this is the satellite cells. So Schwann cells and satellite cells present in the peripheral nervous system as a form of glial cells. Next is the functions of the nervous tissue. So nervous tissue function as a sensory function. Sensory function means detect the internal and external stimuli, external stimuli from the external environment, and internal stimuli from the internal body, like different types of activity occurs in the body. Next is integrative function. Integrative function means processes and interpret informations. Means the working on a signals and action taken on a signals. Next is the motor function. Motor function means action from the brain to the external or internal stimuli. Send the signal to the muscles and glands for the accurate responses. And maintain the homeostasis through regulation and coordinations. So these are the basic function of the nervous tissue. We will discuss in a detail in the nervous systems. So this was a complete explanation of the tissue, different types of tissue we studies in these lectures: epithelium tissue, muscle tissue, connective tissue, nervous tissue. So if you found any doubt related to the tissue, you can comment me. If you like this video, then you can subscribe the channels. And thank you so much for watching this video. We will see you later in next video on next lectures. So till then, thank you so much. Take care.